I think that like the way, because all we're talking about is habit,
Mm-hmm.
like waking up to habit, and
Mm-hmm.
it could be cultural habit or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But people change basically for two reasons. Like one, it's an imperative; you
Mm-hmm.
have to change, otherwise you'll die.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, it's pleasurable; it feels better than what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like there are different ways to find pleasure, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and people, it's like if you come from a family of people who are obese,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that's a it's a problem in your family, and there are reasons for it that have to do with lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start like shifting your diet and exercising, and you get into a different state with your body, and you feel that that's pleasurable.
Mm-hmm.
That's you waking up to a choice that
Mm-hmm.
you have
Mm-hmm.
and deciding to shift it, you know. But meanwhile, like your sibling might be really happy doing whatever they're doing and in the same kind of body state, and that works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I totally agree with what you're saying, where people do, like, they make their choices,
Mm-hmm.
and that is their agency, and then there are possibilities to wake up to what we're choosing, because a lot of what we're choosing is unconscious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think that certain things are unconscious, but I think there are more things that are conscious than we want to admit to. Like,
Yeah.
and I think we just like, because I don't know, and I don't even know if it's just pleasure. I think it's just the path of least resistance or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily know that a person feels better. Like, if you feel good about eating crappy food, right? Like, you might not even know what actually feeling good is. You know what I mean? Because your base level is just like, oh, it's got sugar in it and it's got salt on it and it's got fat in it. This tastes good. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if you always are even aware of like, but this is what fresh air smells like. This is what like something made with sugar versus high fructose corn syrup, or like, you know what I mean? And
Totally.
but
But
you can.
I need the past too. Like this is part of it, because we're
Mhm,
going towards a future of
mhm,
more and more industrialization
mhm,
and products and packaging and pollution
mhm,
and digital environments, and people are growing up not knowing.
mhm,
You know, they don't know what it's like to be connected to the land, or to like have certain kinds of family systems that aren't dependent upon whatever, you know, constantly being preoccupied with a device.
mhm,
So I think that that is where like we do need traditional knowledge, because it comes from more holistic cultures, you know,
mhm,
more holistic societies and ways of functioning.
mhm. If yes, yes. Theoretically, though, I think this is more theoretical because at the end of the day, like you need to be able to exist in an environment that can't be touched in order to live this way. You know what I mean? Like if you have to, you can go somewhere and live off of the land. I assume. I don't know where you go, but you can go somewhere and live off the land, right? But if you want to exist, did you ever read the book? I think I might have asked you about it. The Mutant Message Down Under.
Oh yeah.
Because do we talk about this? Because this is
Oh, we did.
kind of
But wasn't she the woman that like later they were like it was a lie? Was
yeah,
that her?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it does examine the this idea that like you could, because basically, let's say the story isn't a lie, right? Let's for sake of for the sake of this conversation, it's not a lie. She learned all of these things on how to survive on a walkabout. And
Right.
then she goes back to society and she's like, yeah, I'm a bum. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as she went back to society, she realized, wow, I like, none of these things will benefit me while I exist in this environment.
But it's not, you're thinking binary. You're thinking there's some kind of hard split between future and past. Like we
I
can
know.
take
I
them
know.
of the past
Yeah.
and bring it into the future. It's like things like permaculture, or biodynamic gardening are good examples, of understanding how people have used seasonal shifts, like cyclical kinds of patterns for irrigation, planting certain things next to each other so that they actually have like an insecticide function, and like that wisdom came from people figuring it out over time, and how we now integrate that into like living walls or greenhouse or like urbanized gardens. Like I think that's important, of like understanding what wisdom is already there, because there's a lot that we know as a species. Like we've figured some stuff out and it's really, really important. And if we're constantly trying to reinvent the wheel, we're not going to get anywhere. But it's like we do need to move forward, and
But
we need to with us.
But the thing is the problem with some of these things is you can't make people care about the same things.
No.
This is to me like one of the fundamental like issues with this, because like someone is just like, I don't care about that. I'm trying to get my breakfast sandwich from the drive-through. You know what I mean? Like where it came from does not matter to me. Who got hurt does not matter to me. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't matter until like the drive-through, collapses in an earthquake. Like, and this is the thing is like people like you can continue on in a certain way until you just can't continue on that way anymore. And yeah, like most of us on some levels will just continue doing what's familiar and what's comfortable. Because either we don't know that there's another choice, or we don't want to expend the energy to make that other choice. And we're all doing that, like all the time, and then something will happen and you realize like what is important. And I don't know that, I think most people, like if you really get down to it, will agree on similar things being primary important, like having something to eat. No, if you really take it away,
no,
it's like,
I totally disagree with you. I totally
you need food and water. Like if you don't have those things, you're done.
Yeah, but those are things that you need to survive. But I'm talking about choice and agency, because you can have someone. I have people in my family, right, who have diabetes. The doctor says we need to cut your toes off, and they rather lose the toe than change how they eat. People don't care. Like this is the thing. Like you can't, like if people want to be this way, they want to be this way. Like they don't put value on the same things, because and you couldn't, you could say this is the reason this earthquake happened, right? And then people are going to be like, no, the government made the earthquake happen so that this, you know what I mean? Like people just don't think the same way and don't care about the same kinds of things. And so I still, this is why I don't necessarily know if we're ever all going to get on the same page to make certain things happen.
No, we're not.
And it's like the best we can do. If people can be so greatly influenced by indoctrination and marketing, then we must. It seems like we might have to do this. You know what I mean? To people, and hopefully, like utilize these tendencies in the right way, because otherwise,
I mean, even with one family, you can't get everyone on the same page. So. Right. No, 8 billion people? Fuck no.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and like, even when it comes to like, you like say you want to like make changes in your body or whatever, right? And you say, okay, I want to eat healthier, I want to start exercising, I want to get in shape. Your mere presence or this decision or your presence after having done this can cause discomfort to another person. Just, you don't have to do anything. You just can be there. And it
Mm-hmm.
can make someone angry at you or make them feel bad about themselves.
Well, they make themselves feel that way, not me.
Well, yes, of course we know this, but what I'm saying is you couldn't even get a person to say, like, and for you to say this to another person, that I'm not making you feel this way, then they
Yeah,
can say, you don't understand what I go through, you have, you know what I mean, like, this is why we can never.
I know. That's what I was saying before with relationships. It's
Yeah.
like you don't, I to like to be willing to say that I have responsibility for my own state of being.
Mm-hmm.
That wow, like wow, the implication of